This is my workbench today. It's one empty chassis, but I am actually doing three of these together. These are the three A210 power amp. That's one, that's two, and then there's three. So all three together. And then I have a thought. So that's why I want to do this video. I'm looking at this and look at the screw. They are stainless steel screw on a black panel. Is anything wrong with that? To me, no. I didn't even think about it because I use stainless steel screw. It's because it doesn't rust. It's strong, doesn't rust. I also use stainless steel screw here too because of the flathead. I like to use socket screw so it doesn't strip as easy as a Phillips, because once you strip a screw or semi kind of like rounded the corner, it's scrap. You can't really use it in production anymore. It looks bad, and also you can feel it. If you rounded the corner, have a little bit burr, you can feel it. It's scrap. So stainless steel have less chance for that. And this one is zinc plated. Why is it zinc plated? Because it's actually carrying some current. If you're going to use this as a subwoofer connection, some of the subwoofer only accept single-ended input on a speaker level input, so you need to connect the ground to the actual chassis ground or earth ground. Because it's 8 to 10 and many of my amps are balanced outputs, which means both plus and minus binding poles actually have signals. So if you use one of those subwoofers that require single-ended input, or aka negative speaker input must be chassis ground or earth ground, then you're gonna connect this to the ground. Not so much about connecting ground cable. Ground cable to me is actually just jewelry. It doesn't really do anything. Well, audiophile can't change their mind. But the reason I am pointing out this screw is because when I was working with one of the OEM manufacturer, we have built some product for them, and they insist on black screw on black panel. They call match. Well, I still have some of those screws. Those screws are awful. Those are called black oxide screw, metal screw, just steel, black oxide steel screw. I have this whole box, and not much of them are rusted because they still have some little bit of oil coating on it. But when you buy from the fastener place, I don't believe Home Depots or Lowe's has them, but if you buy from an industrial fastener place like White Cap, Fastener, bolts and nuts, I don't know that in the US have the same thing. Europe probably have a different name for those kind of supplier. They don't come with oil because they supply those black oxide screw to a lot of industry, including furniture industry. And if you have any kind of contaminant oil or something coating on it, they freak. Okay, they don't want anything like that because it would get into the fabric and then they ruin their product. So when you buy the product, you should have no coating on it, and sometimes even out of the box and they have rust on it already. And these boxes don't have a lot of rust, but I can still find some screws that have rust. See that one? This is a perfect example. Hopefully you can see that. That's brown stuff. Those are rust. Now, I can use a wire brush to brush the rust off and then put some oil coating on, thin oil. For mounting panel, it's probably okay, but you still have to be very careful about using those screw off with oil, because if you get under the panel, it takes lots of time to clean it. It's not worth it. But for a pure cosmetic point of view, for some manufacturers, some people, they need to match black with black. Do we really have to match black with black? But that's their mindset. Their mindsets are, lack of the better word, if I may say that, they are very strict and rigid and not much artistic sense. So it to me is more than boring. It's very frustrated that they cannot see the accents of the stainless steel screw on black panel. They cannot see. They just have to match. What they call match is the color match. But in fact, you cannot match black with black because you see that plexiglass panel is black and it's shiny, reflective. This is stout. When you put on it, it still have a little bit of contrast. So matching, the word matching is relative. Now, I do have some black screw. These are black screw, black zinc-plated screw. Why do I have those zinc-plated screw? I still have a few hundred left. And it's extra long, so I'm going to show you. And I tell you why I'm going to show you the extra long. See that extra long screw? These are 1 inch long. I really only need about half an inch. Half an inch would be perfect. But I want to use them up because it's still in my inventory and I don't want to waste it. Why waste it if it's still usable? Now, the reason I have it because back in way back in 1996 when I first built a BC2 monoblock power amp, and took it to Vegas, I actually used zinc-plated screw. And then a distributor / dealer and pick up my product, and then they said that, oh, you gotta have black screw on black panel. You cannot have silver screw on black panel. Well, back then I was first started. When you first started, you kind of have to kind of like conform to the industry and find a few rear end hole to kiss, I don't know. YouTube allowed me to say that word, but yeah. So I want to keep the rating as PG or even better than PG. So I'm not going to use that word. A rear end hole to kiss. So I gotta do what I gotta do. So I have 3,000 of those screws, black zinc plated. I refuse to use those black oxide screws because I know it's going to rust. So I have 3,000 of them screws, zinc-plated. That it's perfect for this Neutrik D connector jacks. So for mounting, why not use them up? If they don't rust, they are just as strong as a silver zinc-plated screw, but they're just black. Now after I'm done with those screws, I will not zinc-plate them again because. First of all, I don't care about conform to industry anymore. I just don't care. Just don't care. You don't like my look at the back panel, don't buy it. So, and second, I know any kind of zinc plated is like they're awful. Those chemicals just awful. When I pick up those screws, they're just awful. So pollution's everywhere. If you don't see it, doesn't mean it's not existing. So think about it. Black is one of the most, or require one of the more toxic chemical to create or to die, even on the clothes. So when you're wearing black clothes, you are actually contributing to a lot of pollution. Food for thought is that what you say, and well, I am not one of those hugging a piece of wood out there with leaves, but I do understand pollutions are everywhere, and I'm doing my best to avoid them. First of all, I don't drink bottled water. How's that? Second, I reuse whatever I can, and in this case, yes, it's more than 20 years old, but you know what? They are just as good or better than some of the new zinc-plated screw, unless I use stainless steel. So why waste it? Anyway, so this is the end of this video. Then I don't want to keep whining and being about the whole world, but I just want to let you know this is my thought of the day. I'm building 3 of this amp together, and 2 of them are going to the same person. So I will be building 2 of them together. Really, just 2 of them together. So when I build things, 2 of them together, they will more or less match. Physically, electrically, always match. But physically, I want the 2 amps more or less match, so he can actually use the left and right channel, vertical bi-amp, or whatever it is. But the 3rd one, I will build it separately, so they will be slightly unmatched in cosmetic. Inside cosmetic, outside always match, electrically always match. Until next time, stay safe. Bye.